Winnebago Industries joins Thor in reporting huge RV order backlogs. Hey guys, Izzy from Endless RVing, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the huge backlog in RV orders. Now Thor is joined by Winnebago in these backlogs. What does it mean to you? What's our opinion? What does it mean to you as a potential RV customer, RV consumer? So we're going to break it down, certain things that it's definitely going to affect the customer. Number one is going to be reduced inventory at dealers. We are consistently seeing, not only in the Northeast, down south, out west, we are consistently seeing less inventory than dealerships would normally have. Now, some dealerships have ample inventory, but almost all of them don't have the inventory that they normally would have. So if you have a large dealership that gets a lot of units, they may have units on the lot, but they don't have normally what they should have. A lot of those units are also already sold. So that's going to take us to the second part of what this means for you. We are going to RV dealerships, and being that there's no inventory or very little inventory on the lot, people have to order, right? They're ordering without actually going on the units, without driving the units, or if they're motorized, without actually touching, feeling, seeing these things. You know, you're leaving a big deposit. I know when we ordered our motorhome, we saw it, we saw it at the show. We kind of knew what we were getting. We had to leave a $10,000 deposit, right? That's a huge amount of money for something that you're not really seeing. You're hoping that you like it. So if you're a new RVer, this is certainly something that you should be aware of, that you may want to go out and actually see these things before, we suggest that, before you order them, but that's not quite possible for a lot of units. What else does this mean? Well, if there is a lack of supply and there is a high demand, it's always going to lead to some kind of inflation, right? So prices, not only MSRP prices have gone up, which they have because of material costs and et cetera, but the discounts that RV dealers are giving, a lot of places are giving much less. So for example, when we bought our motorhome, we bought in 2018 to 2019, we got, I believe it was 27 or 28% off, really with very little negotiation on a Newmar. You go on the forums now, I'm on the Tiffin forums, the Newmar forums, the Integra, I'm on a lot of them. People are getting 14% off, 19% off, like to 28% is almost unheard of. So what does that mean? That means you're paying not only more at a higher MSRP because the cost of materials have gone up, you're paying more for the cost of the unit because the discounts are less. Now you may ask yourself, well, I'll buy a used unit. Well, this is affecting the used market also. Prices are historical highs for used RVs. We actually have seen RVs that are selling, couple-year-old RVs, 2-3 years old, that are selling for the same amount as their MSRP from 3 years ago, which is insane to me because 3 years ago somebody was not paying MSRP. They were probably paying about 25 to 30% less of what the MSRP. So essentially, in theory, the units are selling for more than what the original owners paid for them. What is causing these backlogs, these back orders? There's a couple of things. High demand, certainly. You have a lack of parts. So it's always changing. Now we've been to manufacturers, they're kind of telling us, 1 week is an air conditioner, and another week it's foam for the seats, and another week it's light switches, or for motorhomes it could be computer chips. What does this mean? This means a lot of these units are they're waiting in the lots at the manufacturer for certain parts to go through. So what happens? You may have different refrigerators. For example, you may have the same exact manufacturer, same exact model, 3 different models. They potentially could have 3 different refrigerators. Like, it could be different, or different TVs, because manufacturers, what they're doing, they're trying to grab what they can get and put them in. Maybe different air conditioners. What does this cause? Well, it causes just different parts. You're not getting consistency regarding the parts that are in those units. Also, parts that are hard to get, RVs almost always are going to need repair, especially when they're new. So what is happening there? You have a problem with your RV motorhome, for example. Ford issued a recall on their rear differentials having some issues with insufficient fluid. I have documented numerous, because we did a video on this, we'll link it above, numerous people in the comments of that video telling us, we have a new motorhome we paid for, and it's been at the dealership now for 4 weeks. They can't get the parts for it. We're paying for this unit, and we haven't even used it yet. So you have to keep this in mind. And not only could be like a recall from Ford, it could be anything. Something goes wrong with your air conditioner. it may be months before there's a replacement unit for those air conditioners because the manufacturing of the parts is not keeping up with the demand. And we don't want to go too long on this video, so I'm going to just talk about one other thing that's pretty important. It's going to be who is building these RVs. Now, if you're not familiar with RVs, they are not built like your regular car. Most cars are robotics, they're automated, and they're almost identical, all of them. Not so much, well, not really at all on an RV. These things are made by hand. And whenever you have something by hand, there's going to be human error. So it actually takes a lot of skill set, repetition of building these things over years to get good at it. When you have such a high demand, such volume, you know, putting out, trying to keep up with the manufacturing is causing hiring of more people. You also have a labor shortage issue in the country right now with 9+ more million job openings. Some of these manufacturers, you're getting newer people on the manufacturing line. The quality may not always be what it should be. Again, I'm on a lot of the forums, and I'm not going to name certain brands because it seems to be kind of going around everywhere. But there's one particular brand that people are complaining a lot. You know, they're buying $500,000 motorhomes, and they're showing pictures of cabinet work with scratches, with cracks, things that you wouldn't normally see from these manufacturers. And a lot of it has to do with just trying to get the volume out, and the skill of the laborers that are putting these things together may not be to par. So with all that being said, should you buy an RV now? Certainly, if you want to buy an RV, go for it. We just want to make you aware of, you know, potential issues. That doesn't mean every RV out there is going to have problems. Well, actually, they will have some kind of problem, but major problems. You know, there's people that buy RVs that are happy. We're just trying to let you know, do your homework, get an inspector if you buy an RV if it's new, expect that something may go wrong, and expect that if something does go wrong, you may be either trying to fix it yourself or you may be waiting a good amount of time to get it fixed. If you go into buying the RV with those expectations, you're going to be less likely to be disappointed if it happens. So in the comments below, let us know, have you been in the market for an RV? What are the prices you're seeing? What is the amount of inventory you're seeing? And if you did get an RV, have you had issues? And if you had issues, were they resolved in a timely fashion? Let us know in the comments below. And for myself and MJ, we thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you on the road.